kids, it's the Listen and Fly here, hope you're well. Now, when the big BMW GS came out back in 2013, it being water-cooled, one of the criticisms that was levelled at it were that the fact that the radiators that were fitted, ingenious though they are, having these two fitted underneath here, sort of on the left and right, even though that's quite a clever solution and it looks quite good, one of the problems was that if you're going to take the bike off-road, it's possible that stones and so on can come off the off-road, gravel, etc., hit the radiators and potentially damage them. So an obvious accessory to fit to one of these bikes would be a radiator guard. Now, I've not fitted any radiator guards to this. I don't tend to use the bike off-road, but it is feasible that you could get stones and so on thrown off from cars and so on, even on the road as well. So it's worth bearing in mind if you fitted other bits and pieces like I have, whether it's worth putting radiator guards on. Now, to come completely clear and clean with you, I've been sent some radiator guards from a viewer of mine, a new company in fact called Go Gravel. They're based in South Africa. They produce parts for the GS, and they asked me whether I would like to give them a try and fit them on the bike and see how I got on. So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to show you the Go Gravel radiator guards. They look like this. Okay, they're not available in the UK yet, but potentially they will be in the next year or so. So stick around, stay tuned. I'll show you these guards and how they fit on the big GS. So before we get cracking then, let's have a look and see what you get in the pack. You know, normal bog standard pack. I've not even opened these, so let's have a little look. It's the scissors job. Bit of South African propaganda. And here we are. Curious that one comes in another packet. Let's open that up. Okay, there's a couple of additional screws there, Allen bolts, and these are the covers themselves. So let's have a look. What have we got here? They look really good actually. They're nicely made. They're nice and robust. They're made out of some sort of steel, I guess. They're relatively weighty. Not too bad though, and they've got a nicely laser cut GS logo in there, which looks good. And obviously one for left, one for right. So let's see how you go about fitting. Now, one thing I will say about these is in the packet you don't get any instructions, so that's not great. So I did query this with the company, and in fact they're developing instructions to go online. So I printed from the internet a set of instructions. They look fairly comprehensive. They've got pictures and so on, so it should be pretty straightforward. And it really isn't going to be a hard install, I wouldn't think. Okay, so let's go and have a look then at the radiators and see how we go about fitting these. Okay, so the first thing to do is remove 3 bolts underneath the bike here. I don't know if you can see these. There's 3 bolts in here with Torx connectors that fit like a black plastic shroud around the outside of the radiator. And it appears that what's going to happen is we're going to take the shroud off, fit the guard underneath the shroud, and then put the shroud back on over the top of the guard. So that seems to be the way it works. Okay, so let's have a go at that then. Okay, so there's 2 bolts here, and there's one at the bottom that need to come off. So using this little gadget. Rip those off. One. Two. Okay, there's the bottom one, and all those little Torx bolts that come out are all exactly the same. So no problem about getting those mixed up. And then apparently the shroud will just lift off. There we go. There we go. There's the shroud. Okay, so the next thing is you take the shroud and you position the radiator protector behind the shroud and make sure the lip goes on. So here's the shroud, and that's the bottom with the where the one screw went. Here's the shroud which goes behind it. Oh, and I see there's a lip. There's a lip on the top here, which just sort of fits between those lugs there by the looks of it, and then sits in place. Yeah, there's a couple of other lugs that fit on the bottom. It sits in there quite snugly, and hopefully it's just a matter of putting it back in at that point. Okay, so I hope you can see this okay. Let's try and weave this back in without scratching anything I don't want to scratch. Yeah, well, in you go. Right, there's some lugs that fit at the top. One in there. One in there. There we go. And there's the bottom. The screw goes there. Perfect. Okay. Let's just loosely fit these screws back in. Just finger tight for now. One. And then the one at the bottom is actually not quite long enough, and that's why they provide you with the additional bolts. So let's pop the longer bolt in. It's got a little washer in there as well. And these are Allen bolts, which is slightly annoying because it'd obviously be good if you could use the same tool, the same Torx connector for all of these. But we'll pop that in the bottom. Okay, let's just go around and tighten them all up. Okay, and there we go. That's everything nice and tight. Make sure she doesn't move. All feels good. Okay, so it's the same on the other side, and then we're done. Okay, so same again. Bolts out. Remove the shroud. Shroud out. Okay. Position it in the same way. Excellent. Shroud back in. Okay, last tighten. So there we are, all done. That's the installation of the Go Gravel GS radiator guards. Hope you found that of interest, and I look forward to speaking to you next time. Until then, this has been the Messenden Flyer. Cheerio.